Tough atmosphere, obviously. Dealing with the weather there was tough. I thought our kids were very resilient. We knew it would be that way as early as Tuesday in the week, and I told the team they had to be patient, resilient, and continue to chop wood throughout the game. It was going to be a field position battle the whole game. I was proud of where our guys fought. It was a tough environment to play in, and I told the team to handle it best would probably come out on top. Well, they did a good job of that. It takes a lot of concentration and psychological energy to focus throughout a game like that. I want to thank our fans that were at the dog walk. I was blown away when we pulled up to the dog walk. There was people out there in the pouring down rain and stayed throughout the game, a lot of them. And they helped us impact the game in the fourth downs that we were able to get some stops. So that was big for us. And with that, I'll open it up.
It seemed like Kirby, after you got the ball with 39 after the short punt, and then also when Richard got the turnover, it seemed like the offensive line and DeAndre really just giving the extra motivation. You know, even had the chances to score big, I thought.
Yeah, I think that's a wear and tear effect. It's not, you're not just going to walk out there in those conditions and just walk down the field and score on people. It's just tough. It's tough on them, tough on us, tough to get traction. It's tough. And you get to watch games earlier in the day from our area, and you try to figure things out. We went back and watched 2 or 3 games in the SEC last year on Wednesday, Thursday. And it really boils down to kicking game and who's able to flip the field. And I mean, Jake Fromm did an incredible job of that today. And we impacted their punter a little bit. We rushed him and forced him to make some poor decisions and poor kicks. And that really was what flipped the field. And when you play in those kind of games, guys, you got to be extremely patient. Patient as a defensive coach, patient as a player, patient as an offensive coordinator. You have to be patient because you get frustrated very easily, and then you can magnify the mistakes. Our offense did a tremendous job tonight of protecting the ball. To play in those conditions and not put the ball on the ground or not lose a turnover was big for us.
At what point do you recall if Jake came up to you and said, "Hey, listen, it's too tough to kind of dependably throw the ball tonight"?
No, he never said that. No, Jake had 100% confidence that he could throw the ball. He wanted to. I mean, he wanted to. We were able to. Sometimes we were trying to make sure we did it when we had a fresh ball, make sure we did it when we had a fresh set of downs, make sure you take calculated opportunities to do that. It's just tough. I mean, at the end of the day, there's some tough things that have to happen to be able to throw the ball in those conditions. Number one, you got to protect. Number two, you got to be able to throw and catch it. And you got to be able to protect the ball once you get it. We're handing it to a guy is a hell of a lot easier in those conditions. And like I said, it takes patience. So Jake was never really rattled or frustrated by anything. Jake's got a calm demeanor about him. At halftime, he was in a good place and kept leading our team and our offense.
Can you learn, I mean, when you think about like last week, you were talking about the importance of receiver separation and stuff like that, but when you have just like the elements that you had tonight, can you learn, I mean, does that just get
You guys probably can, because you'll write about it. But if you go out there and evaluate that and you give judgment based on that, you're a lot smarter than me, because there's not a lot you can do in those conditions. You know, there's not a lot they didn't play a ton of man-to-man. They played different coverages. They played what they play. They played what they do. It's tough to throw the ball in those elements, and it makes it really hard and challenging. You got to be smart about it, and you got to work in it. And we were able to do that a lot. So I was pleased with the effort and the toughness and the resiliency that our guys continue to show.
On the topic of patience, there were a significant number of people in the stands expressing impatience, especially at the end of the half. What's the effect of that?
No effect for me. I got headphones on, so I mean, we're trying to make the best decision to give us the best chance. I mean, you know, fans, that's what they pay their money for, to give their opinion, and they're entitled to that. I respect that. But at the end of the day, our job is to put our kids in the most successful situations and allow them to be successful. You know what I mean? I don't think you make decisions based on that, because if you do, you'll never look back. You got to make decisions based on patience, the weather, the field position, and all those decisions that were involved in that were calculated.
Kirby,
Through 7 games, what's your assessment of Coach Coley as your OC?
I'm very pleased today. I thought we were extremely patient on offense in tough conditions, and we've got more explosive plays than we had this time last year. with 3 wide receivers that are in the NFL. So let's take the day out of it, because today was, I don't know how many explosives we got. Coming into this game, we had more explosives this year than we had last year. So there's 3 guys that were drafted off that team.
Kirby, the elements aside, you had some concerns offensively coming into the week. Do you feel like those concerns might still be there going into the bye week?
Well, we worked really hard. The concerns coming into the week were, can we get separation? Can we create some space? Can we get healthy? Can we run the ball explosively? Today's conditions were completely different. What I know today is we got a really physically tough, mentally tough team that's not impacted by a quarter of events. They believe in the long haul. They believe they can win every game in the fourth quarter, and they continue to work really hard on it. So,
given the conditions were what they were, what did you learn about your defense today?
They're resilient, physically tough. It was a ground-to-pound game. We knew it would be that way. Look, their offensive staff did a great job to take a kid who's not really a quarterback and try to make him into a quarterback. But at the end of the day, you have to defend him differently. So it created a lot of issues for us, not knowing whether, one-on-one situations all day outside. You're one play away in a weather like that. It's a one-possession game most of the game. And it puts a lot of pressure on your defense to be able to play in those conditions against a guy like that. And they did a good job managing their quarterback, because it's tough. It's tough on our guys and tough on theirs. Our guys continue to rise up in the red area, which has been big. We got to tackle better though.
Kirby, Bowden was efficient last week. You guys, it was 2 of 15 passing. How key was it, I guess, when he did throw it?
It was conditions. He's a better passer than his numbers indicate. His numbers were better last week because of conditions. His numbers probably would have been better tonight were the conditions better. I'm not saying that he's a perfect passer, but he's a better passer than these numbers indicate. And it just made it hard. It was tough for everybody to deal with the conditions.
What kind of energy does Swift bring to the team when he makes plays like that?
He brings energy without making plays. He's heart and soul, leader, inspirational. The runs kind of get the fans involved. Swift gets the team involved by all the things he does and says, and he cares. This team's got a lot of character, a lot of grit. And I love the way they play.
Coach, another top 10 matchup with Florida and Jacksonville in a couple of weeks. Just talk about having an open date and what, how you feel about that game and what it's going to mean this year.
Yeah, I'm really focused right now on getting our guys healthy. We're going to go out Monday and do some walkthrough stuff and try to prepare and get healthy. We're going to take some opponents down the road Tuesday and continue to work on Florida and other teams that do things differently. And then we'll get tied down on them probably either Wednesday or Thursday.
So in terms of the defense there in the second half, how did how did change the course of the game really?
Change the field position. I think the punt that I don't know how far that punt was that he hit out of bounds over there, that was the biggest momentum change, got our crowd into it, and then the turnover on top of that was really big, which we have stressed turnovers to no end. We finally got one, and I don't know if somebody stripped it out or we hit it out, whether it was caused by a collision or a strip, but we thought that we could get the ball off him, and we finally did, and that gave our offense an extra added momentum and incentives.
How
You said there was no
enthusiastic when
defense
you
you
were
played all
running.
year that could carry over to this game. What did you do differently in this game to defend that style?
I missed the first good ball.
You
I'm sorry.
said that there was no defense you played all year that carried into this game. What did you have to do differently to defend
We
Dawgs?
had to play the middle field safety different. We had to play some different looks. We had to play off. We never played press. We did a lot of different things defensively, and the calls were really different based on who the quarterback is. You got to have somebody for him every play. So those plays he got out, you had to have somebody assigned to him, and we didn't always get him. We missed him, but we had somebody assigned to him. And the people assigned to him sometimes might not be the same athlete that he is.
Back to that punt that he didn't hit so well. You seemed to run up to the offense pretty enthusiastically. Can you remember what you were trying to say to him to get him going? Do you remember anything about that?
No, I was just energized. We got the momentum back. We flipped the field position. We talked about it at halftime that we had to flip the field position, and we were able to do that. We knew kicking off to them that we had a chance to pin them down there deep. We didn't get it. We didn't get the ball where we wanted. The kickoff didn't get it down there as far as we wanted to. They got pretty good field position for our conditions. I think we're on the 30, and then they moved the ball. And that really was disheartening to give up first downs. Every first down you give up on defense on them is huge in the field So we had come after some punts, and I think, this rugby punter who's running sideways trying to kick the ball, Walter Grant and Nate McBride running at him, you get affected by that. And I thought that was one of the biggest differences in the game, was that special teams.
Looking at the frustration from the fans this past week, your passing game, how do you feel? I know the weather had something to do with it, but how do you feel about it structurally? What's your confidence in what you guys are doing structurally? And Jake, as a quarterback?
I'm kind of concerned. I feel really good about what our offense does. I feel good about Jake. And to judge it based on that game is just not very smart. I mean, it's hard to judge anything in that game. You can't evaluate that. What you got to evaluate is what is your heart? What is your courage? What is your love of the game? Think about those wideouts in that game. That's for the love of the game. That's what that's for. George Pickens, Kearis Jackson, those guys going out there and blocking, that's for the love of the game. So you evaluate things based on what's going on around them. And what's going on around them is a tough environment. I mean, I could have told you 2 days ago, we weren't about to throw for 200 yards in those conditions. So we had to put a plan together and give ourselves the best chance to be successful. I thought we did a good job.
Back to the turnovers, and how hard is it to not give them it once and then to get it back once, especially after last week?
How hard is it to do that?
No, how good was it for you?
Oh, win the turnover battle, I mean, that's the #1 stat in football, right? And in this game, it was probably the most critical. I thought all specialists, ours and theirs. I mean, you watch TV on those games, everything that I've seen in those games are botched snaps, don't catch it all over the place. I mean, they had one I thought that the kid almost missed and got out. Jake Fromm did a tremendous job catching the snap, fielding it, and getting it kicked. So possession of the ball is critical, and all backs have done a good job protecting the ball so far.
Knowing for a few days what the weather could be, did y'all practice any differently with wet balls or anything like that?
Oh, yeah, we did a ton. We sprayed the balls down. We did all we could. I mean, 'cause we didn't have weather to go in and practice, but we took water bottles and made it way worse than it would be. And we knew then it was going to be tough to throw and catch.
After the Swift touchdown, Kearis came right over to you and was really fired up. Was he celebrating his blocking, or what was that all
Yeah,
about?
I mean, go watch the tape of that. He had one of the most physical blocks. That kid plays with passion and energy, and he doesn't care who gets the credit. He's a winner. He fights his butt off. He took a tough injury. He came back, and he's more excited about his block than catching the ball and doing anything with it. And that, to me, is what winning programs have. It's what winners do. It's the kind of guys I want on my team. All the guys lined up in my locker room that are like that.
Kirby, I know we've talked about the weird year with the 2 off open dates. What do you like about where this team is now compared to maybe that first open date you had? Is there anything tangible you can say that you kind of like that this team's doing?
Well, I love the fact that they compete, they block the outside noise, they go work really hard. We've had good physical practices. There's no way to simulate what we were gonna play in tonight, but our guys have embraced the challenge. They've not shied away from any work we've given them. They come to work every day, and we got good leaders on this team. And those guys buy in and do a great job. And I think when you start with a core leadership of some guys like DeAndre and Jake and JR and Andrew, and those guys, they believe in each other. And that's all you need, is players that believe in each other. And where we are right now is not where we need to be. We're not a finished product. We got to get better. And that's what we're going to do this week.
Coach, are you somewhat amazed just from a physics standpoint that you had that 4th and short at midfield and you've got a massive team on the field and couldn't get those couple of inches?
Tough. And they got massive people too. You notice some of them guys might be 380. I don't know what he weighs, but they get low, and they get under you, and they make it hard. And they did a good job. Give them credit.
2 more questions?
Sure, it seemed like Brian Harris just kind of shot the blue collar guy. He comes in, has some outstanding runs for the first downs there on his own effort.
Everybody played that game. Got some tough blue collar. That was one of them Parks and Recs games. Saturday down there in the mud, you go out there and just play for the love of the game. And that's what we told them, guys. This goes back to when you were a little kid. You go out there and you either embrace it or the conditions affect you. And whichever team handled that better was going to win the game.
Kirby, when did you have to say some of the play calling or plan for the week you had to scrap because of the weather? Did you know that Thursday night, Friday morning?
No, Tuesday we had an outlook that said this might get ugly, and we put some more runs in, some different things in, but we continued to pass the ball throughout the week too, because we wanted to go to work on the passing game. We didn't know how bad it was. As the week went on, you get more accurate forecast, and it grew and grew and grew to the point where we we thought we'd have some shot plays and some action early, before the weather really hit. But, you know, some of those we were able to hit, some of those we weren't. It just made it got worse as the ball stayed out there and the players got wet. So, thanks again.